This is truly wonderful because I want to say, and I've been waiting for a little while to say this, let's dish. Let's dish. Because we can't thank you enough for Tamron, and we've already said that Lish should be delish. All right? But, okay, Tamron, I'm going to start with you. You've had a very successful career as a journalist, a news anchor, talk show host. But I don't know if a lot of people know about your mystery series, because I'm a mystery fan. All right? Tell us just a minute about that.
Yeah, you know, for many years I hosted a show called Deadline Crime, for 6 seasons, in fact. And after I decided to end that show, we all found ourselves in our home, locked in. And once we realized that the world was not going to end, I looked at my husband and said, if you don't open these Amazon boxes, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, you need a way to work off some of this energy, because we were all, of course, so anxious. So I started writing this crime series, this character, Jordan Manning, inspired by my 30 years of being a reporter and my obsession from Nancy Drew series that was under my bed as a kid growing up in Texas, that my dad kept saying, will you dust those books off already? But I could never let them go. So Jordan Manning is a character inspired by my years as a reporter, as a crime reporter. She's tenacious. It's a little bit of Sex in the City meets, I'm old enough to remember a show called Police Lady with Angie Dickinson.
I'm not.
Come on, I can't be.
No idea.
You know when you just got owned by the chief librarian, life is going to be tough right now.
Googling the dates.
Google Angie Dickinson, kids. But she's a scrappy journalist, and now we're in our second book. The first was Watch Where They Hide, As the Wicked Watch, and we have Watch Where They Hide, which I'm so proud of. And then this led me to just really expressing my life beyond the TV show and finding books as this beautiful outlet.
And then
enters
Lish.
a friend that has people ask me, how did we end up with this cookbook?
Right.
I'll give you the abbreviated story of it, but it much started after the death of my father in 2008. I just really started to find my way on the national TV stage, and the greatest figure in my life, other than my mom, my father passed away. My dad had a great love of cooking. You know, he was the type of guy, he was in the military for 30 years, and he would never eat dinner. He'd just stand there and watch us. And I'd say, Dad, why aren't you eating? He said, I just love cooking for you guys. I love the joy of seeing you all eat. And my dad could bake, he could grill, he could do anything. He was like just an incredible cook. And when my father passed away, I said to Lish once, it's like the character in the movie where you go to commercial break and that character's not there. This central character was no longer with us. And I knew I was going to miss many, many things. But his cooking, and the last conversation we had was about this sweet potato pie, and I was, in New York working, and I couldn't get the sweet potato pie right for Thanksgiving. It was just a mess, and it was a disaster, and it didn't taste like my dad's, and I was so frustrated. And then my dad passed away. And I was looking for a way to express my love and to show him that he had taught me so many things. And I thought, wow, he would be stunned if I learned to cook. He might walk down heaven's stairs and say,
he might be coming right now.
Right, he might be coming right now and say, that's you in the kitchen? Because when people would say to me, I love to cook, or it was relaxing, I'm like, I know you're lying. There's no way, because it was a chore, in so many ways. So I'm working at the Today Show, and I walk over to the kitchen one day, because we do the cooking segments at the end that you all complain are too short, like, oh, go and do a commercial break before they make the recipe. So I'm there, and I see Lish, and she's got a radish tattoo and a carrot.
Cool.
And I said, anyone with root vegetables, you gotta be able to cook. You could have anything. You go for a radish. Who
They're
likes
delicious.
radishes in here?
I mean, come on.
Okay.
A little salted butter.
That's about 20%, so the rest are with me, right? So I said, she's got a radish and she's not afraid to use it. How do I learn to cook? And I went over to her and I said, what's the deal with the tattoos? And she, starts talking to me. And then she had a couple of bruises. And I was like, is that from cooking?
It's tough. It's a tough industry.
She says, it's a tough industry. She goes, no, I'm in a boot camp. A boot camp, yes. And I said, like, you're in the
It's
military?
legit.
She's like, no. We go to a boot camp on the weekends to work out. And somehow, in about a 5-minute scenario that involved her giving me food and tricking me,
To coming to a boot camp.
the next day we end up at a boot camp. True story.
She showed up.
I
was
showed
like,
up.
She's not gonna come. She showed up.
At a boot camp in Central Park in New York. There's more poop than grass.
Yeah.
And there I am doing crunches on the ground in Central Park saying, so you ever teach anybody how to cook? And she's like, 1, 2. And I survived the boot camp.
Yep.
I know this is a long answer, Dr. Hayden.
No, but
I do a talk
it's
show. They pay me to
fascinating.
talk.
well, I'm looking at the spoon on her arm too.
Oh, yeah, and
Knife
she's got a
and
spoon and a
right?
fork.
So
if anyone
on.
in life is going to teach you how to cook, it's someone with a tattoo spoon, fork, and a radish and a carrot. So we go back to my place. I have a little chihuahua at the time, and my chihuahua was the barometer. If you could get past May Love, you were going to be in my life forever. She weighed 3 pounds, but
She was fierce.
fiercely protected. Lish and her wife Abby walked in. May Love fell in love, and we became family.
Literally, she was like, "Oh, don't mind her. She doesn't like anybody." And meanwhile, my wife's holding May Love, and I'm petting her, and we're like, "What do you mean? Like she's fine."
likes
It
us.
was very Dr. Evil if you've seen that, but suddenly they're like rubbing my dog, looking around my house.
Very much so.
But we started to talk about family, and Lish is from Wisconsin.
Yep.
I'm from Texas. And we started to talk about what it really means to have good friends. What does it mean to break bread and have a meal? And before I knew it, I met one of my best friends in the world.
Which I do feel like is hard to do as we age.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
fact
I'm
that
not
I
aging,
met,
and neither is Dr. Hayden.
No.
No, but as you get older,
Yes.
like, I mean, I met one of my best friends well into my 30s.
It's true.
And, you know, I mean, sometimes you just have to expect the unexpected, you know?
So, unexpected, Texas and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So how did you bond over food cohesiveness?
We didn't talk politics.
That's true.
No,
But we do agree on
we
that.
agree on that. But no, you know what? We're both like food lovers. I mean, I love it from the perspective of the eater. She loves it from the perspective of being a James Beard Award winner. So we started talking, and I said to her, listen, I really want to learn to cook, and I don't have confidence. I don't know where to start. And I shared with Lish that it was about a month before we met, I decided, and I'm a Virgo, if anybody's a Virgo, yeah, I get obsessed about things. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to teach myself. Thank you, Virgo in the house, the one person. Happy early birthday, by the way.
That's less than 20%, by the way.
I've
Radishes win.
I've won the radish. I've lost the birth war. I said I wanted to learn to cook, and someone said, you know what? There's a store that does like cooking, like little what do they call it?
Demonstrations, like classes.
Demonstration you can watch. And I said, okay. I go to the store. I watch, and I was like, wow, this is great. And the woman said, you know what? I'll tell you what. Buy Ina Garden's book, The Barefoot Contessa, foolproof, and that's where you start. So I take that advice, and I buy all of the books. So I'm
and all of the gadgets,
well,
by the way.
so this is the part of the story that gets really sad. I buy all the books, I place them on the counter. Then I walk around the store. I pull out everything. They've got the onion chopper that looks like the car. They've got the potato scrubbers that say potato. You know, they've got it. I am buying everything that I can imagine. I walk out of this store like Pretty Woman when she walks out after they wouldn't do everything. And so everyone that works at the store, they close the store to escort me to the taxi because I'm like loading the bags in. $2,000 on my credit card. And I went home still not able to cook.
And no food.
And no food.
No food.
This is true. But I have a beautifully stocked kitchen that would make TikTok cry. So I said, this is crazy. So around this time I met Lish, and Lish was like, you did what? Let's go to the Restaurant Depot. We go to this Restaurant Depot. Thank you, baby. Now give me that bottle. I know how to. So we go to this place, Restaurant Depot, and the first lesson I learned was to become confident in the kitchen, like in life. It's not about the things you acquire. right? Sometimes we look at life and you think, if I get that car, if I get that house, if my kid goes to this right school, it's all going to fall into place. It doesn't. It takes much more than things. And there I was surrounded by things, but still not confident. And then Lish, we started talking about the through line of confidence in the kitchen and life. And she said, listen, you have to listen. When you cook, you have to.
You use all of your senses. The food speaks to you because it makes sounds, so you have to listen. You can clearly see it, so you visually are like kind of adapting as you need to go. You can taste. Taste is like, if there's one thing that you take away from this book, it's taste and season as you go, and like you are in control of that. You're using everything. You can touch. If you're dressing a salad, I fully support dressing a salad and tossing it with your hands. Like, it's each piece of lettuce perfectly coated in the dressing, and then taste that and add a little bit more salt if you need it. And like, it's all of the senses. It's a very sensual experience.
And it's going to be talking to you too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's true, I wasn't tasting, like I would get a recipe and I would, like if you said a quarter teaspoon, this was me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't taste. I was following the directions but not listening. And I then started to think about my dad. He was in the kitchen, papa, papa, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. It was a dance.
It's a dance.
It was a dance.
Yep.
But it was a dance I was still afraid to get on the floor. And then came my coach. And ironically, Lish grew up as a dancer in Wisconsin.
That explains the boot camp.
Yeah, does it? I'm not so sure.
So,
And we will start dancing in a second for you.
yeah, and so the food talks to you. You said, Lish, that, and I wrote it down, I fully believe cooking should be a conversation.
Yes.
So explain that.
I mean, cooking is a conversation. I mean, it's a conversation between you and the food. When it came to Tamron and my friendship, like, that's kind of what got us started, is that one night she just texted saying, what should I make for dinner? And I said, well, what do you have? You know, like, let's talk about it. Which is also her tagline for her show. But like, she sent me a list of ingredients, and I said,
had a bronzino, because I'd gotten a fish from the grocery store.
she was cooking for a suitor, by the way,
You just
which I love.
You just tell all my secrets here.
But all is well now.
I had
Yes.
because we all need inspiration. And so outside of my father, I was seeing someone.
As you should.
And I
There's
wanted
nothing
to
wrong with
cook.
this.
No, there was nothing. Well, he's not the person I ended up marrying, so there's that. But
Oh, we're dishing
I know,
now.
this is dishing, right? You thought
Where's
this was
Lauren's
just
book,
a cookbook.
by
No,
the
no,
way?
no. You are now in the family. Turn off your phones and I'll deny it all. But I was like, I wanted to cook dinner for someone. I don't remember who, but it was a guy. And so,
I do, but I won't say.
So I said, I want to cook. And so she says, okay, what do you have? I've got the fish, I've got this, and I've got I think cauliflower. And I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how to trust myself. And this was via text message. And Lish would say, put a glug of this. Fill your hand over the pan. Like, for example, do you know that you can create your own nonstick pan without buying a nonstick? You know the answer to how? Well, you're close, by the book. So, Lish taught me with a stainless pan or a cast iron in my case. Turn on the flame. Heat it up throughout the flame. You know, you've got the hot pan. Put your hand there. You'll feel the heat come off. Mm-hmm. Put your fat in. That's your butter, your oil, whatever. It's now nonstick. The heat has to simply make its way through the stainless or the cast iron. We're not anti nonstick, but you don't have to buy a nonstick pan. Heat and fat, that becomes a nonstick pan. I've saved you money, I want it from my book.
But those are conversations that we were able to have.
So you started having these conversations.
Through text message.
Through text message.
Because we lived on different ends of New York, and taxis and Ubers, it starts adding up. I had to pay for that $2,000 haul from that store.
Right.
So we started texting, and she started nurturing. And over time, and I'll tell you a true story, so at the same time Lish is coaching me through becoming more confident in the kitchen and exploring things, the Barefoot Contessa heard my story of my father passing away. And she extended an invitation for me to come to her home. Yes, I just name dropped her twice for a reason. I went inside, we started to talk about why cooking, what is the connection, right? When you're sitting down at the table with your family, with your friends, when you're in the kitchen cooking together or just for yourself, the connection of providing the nourishment for your body, knowing what you're putting in your body, but also just escaping from life. As I said, I've been doing this 30 years. I have a career that I love that I never could have dreamt. I'm a kid who was single mom, brought me home from the hospital. On paper, I'm not supposed to have the life that I have. I worked very, very hard, but I was looking for ways to escape. And suddenly I'm in the kitchen, and it becomes this thing I never imagined, which was an escape. Like all of these strange things I would hear people say about the joy of cooking, I started to experience it. And other than Einar Garden, the greatest teacher I've ever had in the kitchen was Lish. They have this common thread about recipe creating. So we have 79 recipes in this book, but the book starts with how to pack your pantry. Like, I didn't know what I was supposed to have. Lish is like whole grain mustard. I was like, lady, I know French's. Like, I am intimately friends with French's, whoever that is. She's like, no, these are the few things that you should have in your pantry. These are the building blocks for a salad, for steak, for anything you need. Then she says, you know, apple cider vinegar. I'm like, okay, I know white vinegar. No, you need apple cider vinegar. So in our book, we tell you how to stock your pantry. We give you suggestions on the tools you need. My favorite cooking tool in the world is a fish spatula. Ma'am, don't try to humor. Wait a minute.
A fish
You just want a hug. Come on over here.
A fish spatula. Now, I hope you will explain why there's a special spatula.
It's very thin.
I just like saying spatula.
It's very thin and there's lots of space, so you don't tear up the fish.
And it's like
explains a
$2.99.
lot.
This is not a fancy thing.
No.
But it's really thin. I thought you had a fish spatula. Okay.
Well, that explains a lot.
It's a thin,
fish.
easy to find. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it at your local kitchen store. It's a very thin spatula. So I like whole fish, for example, which we have a beautiful whole fish recipe in the book. It allows you to flip things with ease. Mm-hmm. And so that became my favorite tool. Your favorite tool, you listed the book.
Oh, I still say a chef's knife.
Chef's knife.
An 8-inch chef's knife. I like the brand Mac. It fits well in your hand. Like, it's just my go-to. And I mean, you can do anything with a chef's knife. You
So that
only need
means
3
you don't-
knives in your kitchen,
Yeah, you
by the
only
way.
need
Wait a
3
minute.
knives.
We're just going off here.
No, only three?
Yep, a serrated knife, a chef's knife, and a paring knife. You can do all that you need to do with those 3 knives.
You got it? Paring knife, serrated knife, and a chef's knife. That's, for us non-chefs, you know, the knife, the sharp one on the end. That's all you need. So that kitchen block that you have when you go home tonight and you look at it, it's taking up all of that space on your counter.
You're just gonna shake your head at it.
It's like,
Let
you
it go.
can keep it if you have room, but we have small kitchens.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a big kitchen, you don't need a 90-piece knife set.
Right. And if you use it, like
Right.
if you have a 90-piece knife set and you use every single one of those pieces, God bless you. That's great. But you really only need the 3.
So the book starts that way. We explain some essentials that have a long shelf life for your pantry. We tell you some of the tools that we use in our kitchen that if you're a beginner or if you're someone who's experienced in the kitchen, that you might want to layer in. And then in the book, we have an entire chapter called Don't Sweat the Technique. And we literally start with how to boil an egg. Because you think you know.
Do you know?
Sometimes.
There are
Sometimes it works, and sometimes of all the little pieces.
We have, Lish, you have the book there.
Oh, I got the
We
book.
actually, through a technique that Lish has really mastered, and again, I can't say enough about Lish. Her culinary career is the stuff of legends. A kid from Wisconsin
It's gorgeous.
who finds a love of cooking and goes on to win James Beard Award. But in the book, for example, scrambling an egg, can you demonstrate the technique that you talk about in our book? It's much cooler when there's egg on the pan.
Exactly.
It looks better.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Lish, you say in the book that you were cooking and styling food. I want to hear about the styling. When you were just a teenager.
Oh, I started cooking full Thanksgiving dinners at the age of 13. That's
They
when
must have loved you at home.
Yeah. we would go out for Thanksgiving and Easter meals when I was a kid, and then I started cooking them as I got older at 13, and then we'd stay home. My parents got me a Martha Stewart Living subscription when I was, I think 12 and a half maybe, and I just fell in love.
Which is what we talk about in the book. You know, we have kids in the room. Well, the baby there has a bottle, so too small. But, you know, I was so proud. My son, Moses, who went viral a couple of weeks ago for ordering 75 onions online. Google it. It's a whole dramatic story. He was making his own smoothie last night. He's 5. And with assistance and through what I've learned through Lish, you know, he participates in the kitchen. And that he is a picky eater like most kids, but I've learned so much of the mystery behind food. When he's able to participate, he will try. So he's there, and a lot of the recipes that we have in our book, now that I had my first child at 48 years old, I don't have time to make 4 meals. I'm like, ugh. And for me, like, we have a bucatini. It's a pasta. The sauce you can freeze. It's easy to carry on, you know, if you're traveling or for lunch for school, but it's something the entire family can enjoy. It's a beautiful bucatini with a burrata that, you know, when I prepare it, my whole family is sitting down, which is a priority for me. Back to the inspiration, my dad, other than his cooking, we would eat dinner together on Sundays. And I miss it to this day. And it was one of the traditions I wanted for my son, maybe not on Sundays, maybe it's just on a Wednesday, whatever day, but we're able to sit down. And so we have recipes in there that if you're working, whatever, if you're not, whatever you're doing, the last thing you want is another burden. So we have those delicious recipes that you're able to make, but then we have even more elaborate things because we want to build your confidence. Our first vacation together as a family, we went to Antigua.
Yep.
And we love whole fish. And I said, Lish, there are people who don't like to touch whole fish or intimidated. If we're gonna build the confidence, we need some like big milestones in the book. So we have a whole fish with a salsa verde that is incredible. And you can make it. Even if tomorrow you say, there's no way, I'm gonna go get this fish and I'm gonna trust Tamron and Lish. I can't make it. We have it at the end of each recipe, we use our real dialogue. So Lish created all of these recipes, and she is your favorite chef's favorite chef. Meaning, there are recipes that you have made that Lish created and you don't know she did. Because when you're a recipe creator, your name is not in the byline. So Lish created 79 recipes. She sends the recipes to me, the novice, so I'm you. So right now, look at yourself, I'm you. Your hair might be different. I might be older, that's okay. But I'm you right now. She sent the recipe to me, I would prepare the recipe, and I'd send my questions. So I'd say, wait a minute, I can't find pink peppercorn, what am I supposed to do? Or, wait a minute, marinade? I didn't see that it said marinade, and I don't have time, what am I supposed to do? We have a fried rice, we call it friendship fried rice. So I'm like, I want this fried rice recipe. Except for it said day-old rice. I'm like, I don't care, what is this, Harry Belafonte, day-old? I don't have old rice around my house. Like, what do I do? She's like, leave it out, dry it out, and she walked me through. So each recipe ends with real questions that I had, like your favorite.
My favorite chapter is about, what does a pinch mean? What does a dash of something?
Right.
What is a sprinkle of that thing? It's just like, what does it mean?
The chapter is literally called, What Does It Even Mean? Because so many recipes, I mean, not all of them, but so many recipes are written kind of vaguely, where unless you actually like have a lot of practice in cooking and following recipes, it leaves a little bit of room, right? So, and that's good. It's sometimes done on purpose, but knowing what those little things mean empowers you to feel more confident in the kitchen. Be like, I know what finely chopped means. I know what roughly chopped means. I know how to dice an onion. Of course I do. Like, those little things make you go, okay, I can actually cook.
Well, tell them about
What's
the pinch.
Yeah,
so how many people think a pinch is like?
A literal pinch. Right.
That's a pinch.
And by the way, you're not wrong to think that because it says pinch, right?
But my pinch is 3 fingers and a thumb. Like, that's my pinch of salt.
And you
That's
might
like
be
a
saying,
drop.
oh, that's salty, right? Well, one of the things that we tell you in our book, not all salts are the same. So for
Yes.
example, the one salt we use, Diamond Kosher salt. And we don't get paid to say that, so
No.
don't clap for them.
Yeah.
Because
Unless somebody from Diamond Crystal is out there, and then.
and in that case,
yeah.
pinch away. But Diamond Kosher salt is a less salty salt. And it's anywhere, it's not a fancy brand, it's nothing you're gonna have to, finance your kids' education to get. It's a basic salt. But the reason that Lish uses it in the recipes, which is what we talk about in technique, layering your food. How many times have you cooked it and then all of a sudden at the end you're like, salt?
And then it tastes salty, right? Like.
I've been there, I've been you.
With cooking, it's so important to layer in the seasoning because you want each ingredient to taste the best that it can. And the best that it can involves a little bit of salt. Salt is there to bring out the flavor of food, not to make it salty. So, and we all need salt in our bodies to function as humans. So it's not something to be afraid of. It's just taking practice to actually layer in those flavors and learning the technique of seasoning.
I'm feeling better already.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
it
are.
is.
That's right.
And that's what's so important about the book, because in life, anything, as I said, my son is getting ready to go to kindergarten. So we're already having affirmation pep talks to build his confidence, right? This is what we do in the book. We want you, whether you're a beginner or somebody who's an experienced cook, to continue to feel confident in the kitchen and feel confident in this experience of, which I see it as a blessing now. I did not. It is a blessing to be able to go in your kitchen and cook a meal. So we have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. We have
Brunch.
drinks if you
Brunch.
drink.
And brunch.
We have a tahini milkshake
Oh, it's a malt. Don't.
that if you, malt, it is a tahini malt that if you make it, you will want to marry one of us.
Oh, the chaperone.
And I'm telling you now, we're both taken. We have 2 different chickens because we really wanted, again, for this to be an experience for you, whether you are stepping out of your lane. We have a beautiful recipe. It is a giant crab cake, because the joke was every time you go to a restaurant, you get those 2 little crab cakes and nobody wants to take the last piece because you really know you want it, but it's like, they gave us this little crab cake.
Yep.
You want the last piece? No, you take it. And then your heart is dying because they took it.
Yeah.
We have a giant crab cake because we have a whole chapter called Move the Crowd, Feed the Crowd. Because one of the things that we do at my house, as I said, we're lucky enough to probably go to any restaurant that we want, and that's not a brag, that's just our life. The best restaurant is with friends, at home. The wine is cheaper.
Yep.
And I'll
The
mark
food is
up.
cheaper.
The food is cheaper, but you get to talk as loud as you want. You get to eat more and have a good time. So this book really is about the recipes. It's about technique, but it is about the great experience of sharing a meal with people that are special to you. And that can be friends, family, all of my holiday meals, because we all live away from our hometowns. We have a motley crew of people at my house. So there's Nellie from Cameroon, there's Larry from North Carolina, there's Fred from North Carolina, we've got some Texans. We pretty much have the DNC roll call, and without Little John. But that's joy. So that's why in the book it says joy, no pressure cooking. So Lish has a chocolate chip cookie recipe. I said, Lish, we have to share this with the world because it is absolutely divine. Lish taught me how to spatchcock a chicken.
Yeah, we need to talk about that because there is a reason that we have 2 roast chicken recipes in this book. It's because when she was testing the spatchcock chicken recipe, she FaceTimes me going, what the heck am I doing?
Right. Okay, the polling the audience. Who knows what spatchcocking a chicken?
See?
Ooh. Quite a few.
This is an elevated audience.
Well, we already had the fish spatula.
See, yeah.
You know.
Well, for those of you who didn't raise your hand, you are my kindred. We are family. I didn't know what spatchcocking a chicken. Thank you. See, ma'am, you had to do it with the visual because you just didn't even explain it. It is the removal of the backbone of the chicken. So it allows the chicken to cook flat. But I'd never heard this before. So I get to ask all of the questions you would be embarrassed to ask. So I said, ma'am, what is spatchcocking a chicken?
Yeah, it was pretty good because, you know, she's trying to set the phone up, she's got her scissors out, she's not sure what section she's supposed to be cutting out, and she's like, listen, we need a whole roasted chicken for when people don't want to have to do this.
And that's
So
what we have it.
We did that whole roasted chicken, but the second time she did the spatchcock, she did it without my help.
I was a spatchcocking queen.
Yes, she was. After she sanitized her phone because it was all chickeny from her going, I don't know what's going on.
But we wanted for the book to have these levels. Like I said, you know, for the beginner, we wanted you to feel comfortable launching in. But for those of you who are experienced cooks and who enjoy cooking, as I do now, we wanted you to find some interesting things that you may not make. We have a harissa carrot side dish that is heavenly. Can we just read some of the titles of our...
Well, I've got one in mind because some of them are personal. So the maple shakerado.
Yes,
It's a drink.
it is. The
And
shakerado.
Lish's father-in-law, Dennis, makes the best maple syrup every year with a few friends in his small town in Wisconsin. No joke, it's the best. And once Tamron tasted it, there was no going back. Now Lish smuggles it back from Wisconsin in her suitcase. Imagine going through security. After almost every visit, we even ship it to Tamron's cousin, Erica, in Texas.
Yep, true story.
We pretty much have a maple syrup black market going.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
But we have the drinks in there. We have a grilled cheese sandwich called the Moses grilled cheese.
Oh,
That's
he's
it.
in there too.
With my son, because one day Lish was at our house and I said,
Here it is.
Oh, there's the picture of it.
And there's Moses bringing it to
Young Mo.
Tamron.
Young Mo, young money Mo. But I said to Lish, we were there, and I said, can you make this grilled cheese for him? I've got something. So she said, okay. So I'm thinking it's going to be bread and cheese. But when you have a best friend who's a James Beard winner, award winner, like, okay. And I came out, and she'd used the pears that were in this bowl, mustard, the bread, and this beautiful grilled cheese that my son devoured. That was an elevated grilled cheese that an adult could enjoy, but my son did as well. And again, listen, my kid is a picky eater as well. He's not French. He's not sitting there like Grey Poupon. You know? He's a regular old 5-year-old. But the pears and the cheese just gave it great flavor, and he loved it. And that's why that's in the book. I'm from the South, and I grew up with sakatumi cakes. That was a big thing at my church. My mom's church would do these bake sales. So Lish created a socket to them cake that is absolutely divine. My mother's photographed in there with a cup of coffee. And when we first gave her the cake, we were nervous because my mom is a Southern black mom.
She's
She's
gonna be
gonna
honest.
tell you. She's gonna tell you how the cake. So we nervously slide the cake. We hide behind the door. And then she's like, okay, girls. So we have the sakatumi cake in there.
Sakatumi cake. And there's Mom.
Look at that. There's my mom with the sakatumi cake. So we have big group recipes. We have this baked French toast casserole. That's my go-to breakfast. Lish added a hint of cardamom and cream. You prepare it and refrigerate it overnight so that all of this deliciousness can soak into the bread. The next morning, you take it out, bring it up to room temperature, and you bake it. And why that recipe was so important to me, in building my confidence in the kitchen, if it said marinade or overnight, I was out. I'm like, wait, that just sounds like extra work. But what I discovered in building my confidence, and this is how Lish prepared the recipe, the first thing is, I said, Lish, we have to warn people right off the top that it is either marinade or it's going to take extra hours of time. Because there's nothing worse. Oh, no, that's why. Because there's nothing worse than getting.
They have warning signs.
There's warning. Because I have gotten home and I'm like, go to the grocery store, I'm going to make this. And then you start reading the recipe and you're like, marinade for 24 hours. And you have no food. You're like, okay. So I said there has to be a warning.
They have it.
Because to build your confidence, that's a setup for a fail, right? So this particular baked French toast, I thought, okay, overnight, but it's in there. The next morning, I've got my godson there, my bestie from Texas has visited, her husband, my kid, everybody's there. I take the French toast out, bring it up to room temperature, put it in the oven. Now I can do my bacon, now I can do other things, and I've got this beautiful French toast recipe that I set myself up for success the night before. We also have a way to prepare bacon that will change your life. Because full disclosure, this is not a vegan book, hence the reason I've mentioned bacon.
Texas, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Was never going to be. We were never going to walk away from anything that moved, or oinked. But this book is about technique. So one of the things that Lish experimented with and has had great success with, we take bacon on a sheet pan. You turn your broiler on. You have a rack in the middle. You put your bacon in the oven. Broil. You crisp it up, take it out, flip it, a few more minutes, take it out, put it on like a wire rack or a paper towel. Your bacon is crispy, delicious, and done. You don't believe me? Go downstairs and get the book, we'll sign it. You make your bacon, I'll give you my phone number. Call me. You don't get the little crinkle rolled up, sad looking bacon.
Your stovetop is clean.
Your stovetop is clean, so you're not cleaning. And while you're doing your bacon, you can be doing something else, like the scrambled egg thing. But we literally explore technique. So it is more than a cookbook. It's a love letter to friendship. We are the only book that publishers could find with a black woman and a white woman on the cover. We're the only cookbook with a woman who's LGBT and a woman who's an ally. And I don't market the book that way because I live a very inclusive life, and we don't want people to always believe that we're sharing these things for any other reason than it's the truth. And that makes me so proud that this book is about two people who were essentially curious about each other, one person vulnerable enough to share that I was going through a grieving process, and another person who cared enough to say, let me help you out. So while the recipes are drop dead amazing, I'm approaching my 54th birthday, and I've met, thank you for that sympathy applause. And I was saying earlier to Dr. Hayden, I'm an ordinary country kid who's had an extraordinary life, but I will, on the day that I expire from this earth, I hope that people know I rooted for them. And I am blessed enough to know people have rooted for me, like this person who's on the cover of this book for me.
And you all you mentioned Moses, and you did the grilled cheese, and then Granny's curry chicken salad.
Yes.
Lish's granny-in-law was a fabulous and classy lady. She was also a big fan of ours. So Tamron and Granny bonded.
Yes, me and Granny, her Granny was
over
90.
FaceTime.
We twerked. We twerked on FaceTime.
Yeah, and Granny is a 90-year-old Wisconsin Granny connecting with the New York-based national newscaster over a fierce vintage turquoise necklace.
And twerking.
And twerking.
Jewelry and twerking. Granny, we call Granny on FaceTime, and she was in the mirror, and she does this.
I mean, it was
That's twerking.
I don't know the sign for that.
That's how we twerk in Wisconsin, just so you know.
That's how they twerk in Wisconsin.
That's twerking.
But Granny's curry chicken salad, again, all of these recipes, they come from a place, you know. We didn't want just, all right, she's got a national show, she's got some awards, let's sell everybody a cookbook. These are authentic. I've shared pictures in here. There's a swimsuit picture of us that I would never share in real life.
It's in the book.
It is.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. Lish
The
stole it.
childhood picture of each of them.
And we had the same haircut then, and we still have the same haircut now, so.
But
No joke.
It is no joke. We have the same.
Pigtails and bangs.
We both had pigtails and bangs, and we were thousands of miles away. But it's a reminder that food is a common thread. And I tell people the easiest way to learn or really get to know people is to talk to them about what they ate growing up. We were just commiserating in the back about school lunch. And I said, well, this year my kid, his school has lunch at the campus. And we all started talking about our memories of lunch. So I had a Mork and Mindy lunchbox Again, Google it, children, Google it. There's this guy named Robin Williams. He was amazing, and he still got it. But I said, we call it bologna where I'm from. I know some people say bologna. I had bologna, Kraft cheese, and Wonder Bread. And it would sit in the lunchbox, and it would be steamy. And so we're in a room of people, different ages, different races, and everyone is nodding with the same memory of the bologna and cheese sandwich. That's a common thread. How many times have you sat and talked to someone and you're just like, oh God, I love, and you want to learn about someone's culture, right? You eat their food and then they say, oh, my grandma made this or this. Food is a common thread. And that's what we explore in the book as well. And that's why these recipes are from our backgrounds, our roots, because I do and I remain steadfast in my belief. When you sit down with someone at the table and break bread with them, you leave with a connection. I believe that. I believe it. I believe it.
Well,
and I'm not running for office. That's the truth.
I looked at I see a connection because, and I went in the index, you didn't have Brussels sprouts.
No.
Thank you.
No. So
I didn't put them in.
She didn't put them in. Full disclosure, didn't have a Brussels sprout until I was in my late 30s. Because when I grew up, they used to boil them.
Right.
Yes.
They're slimy and
They were
stinky
smelly and they boiled. I went to Catholic school. It was a way to get you closer to God. Carrots, they used to boil them.
Yep.
You
Most
know,
vegetables were just.
We used to do like just boil this. Anyone under 50, you don't know what we survived. You don't know. No seat belts, boiled Brussels. They didn't care about us. It's a wonder we're alive. But the book has a roasted carrot recipe. They don't understand. But that's the thing. This book explores so many beautiful beats of fun and joy and no pressure. I said to Lish, my dream for this book is really for you to look at it almost like the Betty Crocker. You know, I still have I'm again from this small town. Everybody is like Aunt Sister, Katie May, Josephine May. Everybody's got May as a second name. I don't know why I don't. But they all had that Betty Crocker book. And it was like greasy and it's in the corner. Or they'd have recipes that, you know, many of them worked at the post office or were teachers, and you'd have potluck and you'd write down somebody's recipe, or they'd give you the card, remember the card or the recipe. I wanted this book to have that familiar energy of that potluck or that neighbor who had that recipe, and you're like, oh, that's good. Write it down for me.
That Jell-O salad, that's a keeper.
No, it's not.
You all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but we wanted it to
That's
feel
not
like
in here.
that. No, it's not in the cut. But we wanted it to feel like how you would exchange recipe cards.
Yep.
And we wanted you to know that this book is an extension of what we hope we have with all of you. And we won't get to know all of you personally, but I believe, and she knows I believe, that the universe conspires to put us where we're supposed to be. And Dr. Hayden said today this was where we were supposed to be. So we are so grateful and honored that you sat in the seat and listened to our little song and dance. But I believe that energy transfers. And I think in this room, we're all here for a reason. And for us, it is to show this common thread of this little cookbook that started with someone who really did not cook. And I probably cook 4 or 5 times a week. I leave my show. We do 2 shows a day. We start back live September 3rd. The Tamron Hall show returns for its 6th season. So thank you to the Tam fam. Lish will be on the show. We are now the 2nd longest running Disney syndicated show in history. And the show started because I got fired, so there's that. But again, a reminder that you're never down, and there's always a moment to find your confidence. And that's what that book is.
Thank you both, because I understand we have 10 minutes for a few questions.
All right,
Does
fire
anybody
round.
feel brave
I know,
enough?
right?
Fire
Got
round.
the fish?
Okay, no, we
Spatula.
won't come over and cook tonight, but next week maybe.
Okay.
I love it.
Just
ahead.
come on to the mic.
And please come down and see us. We're signing books.
Yeah, they're going to
Yes,
sign
yes.
right after
Please,
this.
and we're taking selfies and we're giving hugs and we'll answer more questions down there as well.
We'll talk about spatchcocking, fish spatulas, everything.
Anything.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi. Ms. Hall,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to tell you, I have admired you since you were on the Today Show. I didn't know you were fired. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I didn't know you were fired. But you were excellent. And I've always watched you. Class act. Now, I'm going to get this cookbook because it's very interesting. My husband and I both like to cook, but here lately I let him cook.
Okay.
And you're the same age as my oldest son. And I cooked for 4 boys, 4 young men, when they were.
Thank you. God bless
Seriously,
you.
yeah.
It's
Well,
not,
God bless you. That's
Thank
all.
you.
I forgot the question I wanted to ask. Well, hell, I'm 70
Listen.
years old, so I can't.
I
No
receive
problem.
it. I
Okay.
thank you.
But
I
God
hope
bless
you
you.
enjoy. God bless you. I hope you enjoy. I pray you will enjoy the book. As I said, we're going to be signing books. This is our first big tour stop, and we never imagined that we would be walking around the Congressional Library sitting
Seriously.
with a historic figure in the world. It's crazy, and so thank you. But yes, I'm the only person who laughed about getting fired. How about that? And
I didn't know you had gotten fired.
Yeah. Go.
That was, but
It's okay.
karma is a, you know what. You've done well.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Hello, Tamron. So I just wanted to say a couple of things really quick. So I saw your Girl Get Up. That's on YouTube. I have it set in my phone. I haven't watched that yet. So I'm thanking you in advance because I know it will be inspiring. I wanted to just tell you a few things that you and I have in common. So we're both Tams. I'm also a Tam. Also, I'm an author.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My book release was August 13th. It's about my dad who passed away. So the book is a tribute to my father. The other thing was I also have a licensed and registered baking business. I'm an awesome cook because of my dad and my mom. She's also in heaven. And you mentioned the fish spatula. So I found 2 years ago a cage so that it's a grill cage. So when you want to grill fish, it doesn't stick to the grill, and it works wonders.
I
It's a
love
whole
that.
different it's on Amazon, $12.99. Let's just keep it real.
But
right?
that's
Everything
what our, you know, when we talk about tools in the book, we say these are the things, like I still love a pressure cooker and a crock pot. You will pry them from my cold, dead hands. So we say everybody has a favorite tool, so keep the tool that you love, keep if it's a food process, whatever, but like your fish thing, that's what we like. Yeah,
Yep.
everybody has one.
And you can flip it very easily. I just want to say all of my books are on Barnes & Noble. I have 10. I hope that you will see them, and I'd love to come and cook on your show.
Absolutely, we're gonna
right.
figure it out. Thank you.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
This question is for Tamron. I was wondering if you could give me and members of the audience a piece of advice for novice cooks who, you know, have a lot of things going on in their life, like
Yes.
career, other responsibilities, like a piece of advice for them to become a more skilled cook.
Okay, I love that. Start with pasta. I think it's a thank you, shout out. And I'm sorry for anybody who doesn't eat it. You can get gluten-free, so I'm not, whatever kind you want. Start with pasta. That's why that bucatini is in there.
Yep.
Because you have the pasta, right? You have the basics of that, which Lish in the book explains how to salt water. Because a lot of, when you see in the back, it's like salted water, you're like, what does that mean? What does it mean, Lish?
It means a lot of salt. Like, you need to taste the water and make sure that it tastes salty. It's
Yes.
your one chance to season the pasta, that it actually goes into the pasta. So it has to be salty water.
Because I'm sure you've had pasta dishes before and the pasta tastes bland. There's a good sauce, but it's bland because they didn't salt the water, because it is your chance to season the pasta. Start with the pasta. We have this bucatini in there, and what I like about it is that it allows you to make your own sauce. You can freeze this sauce. So when I'm actually making it, so full disclosure, I'm making the bucatini from our book tomorrow. I'm making the whole roast chicken that we have in there that has citrus and lemon and onion, and it's great. But I freeze that sauce, and I start my show, rehearsals for the Tamron Hall show start Tuesday, and I'll freeze that so that my husband can make pasta for my kids. So I think start with pasta, start with a good sauce, but mostly start with what you like. You know, we have the book here. There are many things. Launch in. I lived most of my adult life single. And so sometimes I would keep that from cooking because I was, oh, it's just me. Well, that doesn't also mean I just need a $9,000 DoorDash bill. You know what I mean? It's like, and trust me, that was like DoorDash, damn, excuse me. And so for me, I cook much of my adult life for myself. And that's not a splurge or a luxury. Sometimes people are like, oh, you know, you see, oh, I'm just gonna go out and order something. Get in there, try the pasta, and it's gonna be great, have fun. I've had bad meals, don't get me wrong.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hi. Full disclosure, I honestly didn't even know who you were before I came in this room.
That's
but
okay, my mother didn't either until I came out.
I like
I
that.
came to this talk because cooking really resonates with me, and I feel, like you said, that I was meant to be in this room. Just sharing, you know, in 2008, I lost my mom, so I can really relate to you. And just hearing everything that you were saying made me super emotional. My question is, are there any dishes that you cook or you eat or you share with friends and family that specifically bring you back to moments with your dad before he passed away? I know for me and my family, there's a very, very delicious recipe we printed from foodnetwork.com for jerk chicken and with a mushroom cream sauce that we cook it and we eat it and we talk about memories of my mom.
We have a fried chicken in our book, and I was a little hesitant, to be honest with you, because being from the South, and people get real particular about fried chicken. We also at one point thought about potato salad, and I was like, no, we can't take that
You
heat.
vetoed
I
it.
said, no,
Don't go there.
no. I'm gonna have to defend us from every black person who has a better recipe than us.
Mac and cheese, too.
I said,
Mac and cheese.
I was like, no mac and cheese, no. But Lish did a fried chicken, and she uses rice flour, and it gives the chicken an egg. And I'd never heard of this, full disclosure. But going back to your specific question, my dad and mom, I went to Temple University. I was fortunate enough to get accepted to Temple University. Shout out Temple House. 1,528 miles from my parents' doorstep to college. I'd never slept over anyone's house. My parents thought everybody's parent was crazy, so I never had sleepovers. I was the crew that they picked up at midnight. They were like, yeah, come on out, you're not sleeping over. So I'd never slept over anyone's house, 1,528 miles. My dad, because we didn't have the money, he was in the military, he packed up fried chicken sandwiches and put them in foil. We had a conversion van, and they drove me to college.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect to cry, but thank you for sharing your story about your mom. And so that means a little bit, because that reminds me of, you know, again, all of our journeys, somebody's rooted for us. Friends, sometimes it's a coworker, sometimes it's a person in passing. I refer to my dad, and the dad who raised me was not my biological father. He was the dad God meant for me to have. My biological father was not in my life after the age of 2. And to think that I have a book dedicated to someone whose blood I don't share, but everything that is in my blood is him, is special. And so it's that dish, and I'm sending you my love. And thank you, and I know your mom is proud.
Hi.
You go. No,
Nothing
you go.
like a little comic relief coming up.
Well, I was like,
We're
we're
a
how
team.
we follow that. It's
We're-
like
we're
you,
just
you
here.
went real
We're here.
heartfelt, and
We're
we need you
going
to settle
hard
a debate.
left. Okay, so I'm Courtney and this is Victoria. And
Hi, Courtney and Victoria. This is Lish. I'm Tamron.
Yep, and so
Y'all, really.
our question is,
Wait, hold on, you
sometimes
have to
as
tell
friends,
them, like, I am the cook, she does not cook.
Okay.
Heard. Yep.
so we're here because she said I need this cookbook because she's deeply resonating for me on everything that you've said.
So who cooks? Wait, you're the cook.
Yes.
So you're
She's Lish.
Lish. Okay, so and you're Tamron. Okay. So
But we need you to settle a debate, and like maybe there are times where you two didn't agree on a particular topic or concept.
Okay.
Yes.
So we can't agree on one thing. And I bet this audience might disagree on this one topic.
What is it?
Okay.
So I've tried to explain to her that you don't have to wash the chicken.
Amen.
You don't.
You don't. You don't wash the chicken.
You don't wash chicken.
You dry it very well with paper
Yes.
towel, but you do not wash it.
chicken.
Salmonella
Why?
Salmonella sink.
You don't. Because washing.
Wait a minute.
Washing it spreads the bacteria.
serious.
Salmonella everywhere.
This is serious. Thank you.
Wait, look, here's what's remarkable. You don't even cook. And you have.
And she's like, hard set on wash that chicken.
No.
But germs.
But when I
No,
do
but
cook,
you
I do
don't.
wash the
If you wash the chicken, right? First of all, your favorite restaurant didn't wash that chicken.
Yeah, no. That one might put the cryo back into the vat, man.
No, because you don't eat chicken raw. So, well, you don't know this because you don't cook. But after the
But I do sometimes, and I always wash the
you're
chicken.
gonna do it all the time. You don't have to. But I know people. We just had a conversation. This is a true conversation happened a few minutes ago. So first of all, you don't need to wash your chicken. You pat it dry.
Yes, because water is actually the enemy when you want to brown something. You want fat, you don't want water. Water makes it steam and get all funky, right? So why would you add more water to it when you're trying to brown it? Plus, when you add water to it, it splashes all over the place, spreading the bacteria. Then you just have to sanitize your entire kitchen after you're done with it.
Yeah.
Yes, which I'm sure you do. But then you have to extra dry it. Extra dry it with the paper towels. You're just giving Bounty even more money.
Right. And unless you own stock in Bounty,
Which at this
feel
point
like
I
I do.
should,
Wait,
full
wait.
disclosure.
and we'll tell you, you know what conversation we had earlier? The bigger enemy in your kitchen? The lemon that you didn't wash. Because people think with citrus, I'm peeling it. So what's in the citrus is clean. Except for you didn't wash that orange or that lemon, and you go, or you cut
And
the
you cut
melon
through.
and you cut through the skin that's got bacteria that's going right through. Happy eating.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all for bringing this up. And we have, just one more little question. And
Yeah,
then
she's so
we
cute.
have to
I
go,
know.
but
they may
they'll
have
be
to pick you
signing
up.
books.
Yes.
And you can ask some more questions, but
Oh,
one
she's so
more. Help
cute.
her with that. You can take it off the tippy toe. Uh-oh, you can do it.
Hi, my name is Ishara. My grandmother loves your show. So, which dish is the one that you guys can't live without?
Ooh, that's tough.
Who is this savant genius in this room? What school? I want your grandmom to raise my son. What's your name?
Ishara,
And how old are you, Ishar?
9.
I love it.
You're
That's an excellent question.
amazing. Oh, what? I can't.
Can't live without.
Can't
so
live without.
honestly, this is a very impossible question that you've asked,
Yes.
little Oprah. But I am right now currently addicted to the tahini malt. So it's tahini, vanilla ice cream, salt.
Salt, yep.
It is, because you think tahini like with Greek food or whatever, with the vanilla ice cream. I have to get back into my work clothes soon. My Spanx are Anks at this point because I can't, the tahini malt is, it's right now the end of summer. I'm addicted to it. It's a tahini malt that is insane.
For me, I would say it's any way to cook eggs.
Oh, she loves eggs.
I love cooking eggs because there's so many different variations that you can do to prepare them. So poaching an egg, hard boiling an egg, soft boiling an egg, soft scrambling an egg, big curds, small curds, like all the things, and they can be so sexy or they can be an appetizer.
She's
they
9.
Can be, yeah,
She's 9.
she'll learn.
She's 9.
There's always something to eat when you have eggs.
Yes, and what we mean by sexy is
Yeah,
like,
explain that
child.
Yeah, well, I think it's time to wrap up.
All right, thank you, doctor.